After a near 4-year hiatus since Solar Power, Lorde returns with Virgin. This is an album that is both a rebirth and a reckoning, where Pure Heroine introduced us to her as the world-weary teenage prodigy, and Melodrama laid bare her emotional turmoil with Baroque pop grandeur. Virgin strips back the pretense and explores new territory. There's raw vulnerability happening here, spiritual ambiguity, and the messy process of reclaiming one's identity. Musically, Virgin is Lord's most experimental work yet. This is produced alongside longtime collaborator Jack Antonoff, and we know he make the pop rock hits. This is Taylor Swift's main guy. And unexpectedly, we had addition in the production realm from Arca and Dev Hynes on a few selected tracks there. This album fuses a lot of ambient textures, does minimalist electronic beats. There's these haunting vocals that Lord exposes throughout this entire thing. Like it occasionally dissolves into even like some glitchy abstraction. This is one of these artsy type of projects that it's stretching the boundary of the genre a lot. But it is indie pop, rock, electronic enough in its elements that it doesn't lose you if you're a fan of like that kind of specific kind of sound. It's less about the pop hooks on this thing than the emotional impression that Lloyd expresses throughout this whole project. There's like a shifting soundscape that happens throughout this whole thing, and you just have to lock in and keep up throughout this thing. It moves away from the folk tone that she presented on Solar Power. Virgin is more raw. It has these electronic beats, these distorted synths, sometimes prioritized percussion over Lord's vocals, even. So, you know, a lot of Jack Antonoff happening here. But if you want to make the charts, that's what you're going for. So it's kind of a weird balance that she's offering up such an emotional and transparent project while at the same time trying to make it commercially accessible. Man of the Year. Let's take that track for example. And Current Affairs, where she leans into this dreamy synth pop echoing songs and project from like FKA Twigs. Maybe even Grouper comes to mind. You listen to a track like Hammer jolts with this industrial sound. It's got this guttural vocal performance that we wouldn't be expecting from her earlier work necessarily, but this is while it's emotional, it's still like it's the production brings it all together when it needs to. It's well balanced. Broken Glass is another great example of this freaky track. She's on here talking about like not the sacri, but like these compromises that we make to make it, right? And in her case here, she's talking about like getting like getting her body done. But a person getting their body done. I don't know if she's had any work done. I don't think she's had any work done. She doesn't. I have to go back and listen to the tracks. What is Broken Glass? What is she saying here in Broken Glass? Because she talks about like looking in the mirror and being like, yo, was it worth it? You know, doing all that. Okay, so song goes up. Mystique is dead. Last year was bad. I let myself get sucked in by algorithmic, felt great to strip, new waist to hip. I hate to admit just how much I paid for it. Did I cry? Did I cry myself to sleep about that? Cheat about that? Rot teeth about that? Did I sweat hours a week about that? Compete about that? Lose my freak about that? Huh? All of the above. So I'm like that I mean, like I love that artist because you know, like a lot of other genres, we don't have to hold them to account to be like, oh, that was your story. When I listen to country, the stuff they're talking about in country, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe he did that. She took my truck, my car, and my dog. I don't necessarily believe that happened. The dude probably never had a dog, right? Probably took the truck though. But I don't necessarily have to believe that all rappers went through all of that stuff like Malice did, and he's having a retrospective on his life that he actually went through and did all that stuff from the clips, Malice from the clips. Um, Whereas Kendrick, you know, can incorporate some of these ideas into his work because he was very close to it, but he never really was a pusher like that, right? Um, so it depends on the storyteller. Because we can still think you're authentic because we can relate to your closeness to it. There's some of us that have been there, closeness to it, with like what they say, but for the grace of God, go I. I talked about this in my one video about um, one of my neighbors, their house catching on fire. And randomly, off of some freaking oil-soaked rags that they just had drying, or we're gonna dry it out and then we'll like wash it or or find a way to dispose of it or something like that. But it's just like spontaneous combustion. Who thought? So there's a lot of randomness that happens with our existence and our like these multiple laps around the sun that we're doing. But it was particularly hot summer in Virginia and the house caught fire. But in um in Broken Glass, Lorde is it's almost like she's surmising all of her work before where she was just being so authentic to herself and so unique and then like talking about here's a vulnerability that even I had to give into the algorithm. Even I had to, and it may not have been work, like plastic surgery. She definitely had no BBL. Just I mean, visual inspection. I'm a professional. All right, visual inspection. She hasn't had a BBL. All right, but she, there are other insecurities that like society and the algorithm tells you that, hey, shine a light on that. It should bother you. Lose some sleep on it. I'll let you tomorrow, kind of thing. And just like puts that on us, and we have to like live with that. And so she brings the light to this thing, and she like describes it and go through much. So if you're somebody that's going through that, like this is a song that can speak to you. So this is what I'm saying. I'm thinking like not all these tracks will speak to everyone, but there's something like somebody out there. She's talking to somebody out there, and they are going to lock in on that. They're going to hear it. Like what is the quote says? My sheep know my voice. And some of these tracks that like she will like. I mean, just looking at the album cover, right? We take a second. Let's take a second to look at the album cover. It's a what is this, an X-ray? Because this is bones, X-ray, right? We're looking at bones, and in that in that X-ray there is and what is this? Her IUD. There's a zipper that is imposed on the image, and the album is called Virgin, and it's zipped up. The zipper is zipped all the way up, but it's an IUD. So like, bruh, there's just so much. That's a lot of. that's a lot of contradictions happening there. Like if you're a virgin, why would you need an IUD? But also like the IUDs can help with hormonal balances, but like at a certain age, it kind of hurts you. And the zipper is zipped up, right? So it's talking about chastity. Um, but there's also the concept of being sexually free that's going on in this album. And sexually free means you're not a virgin. And she even has a line that says, like, if I was a virgin, I would give that to you too. Like in terms of the sacrifices and how much you mean to me and how much like I'm going to sacrifice. Like if I was virgin, I'd give that to you. So this isn't just about like hormonal balance. This is talking about actual sexuality at certain points. Um, it's saying a lot. It's saying a lot, and she packages the whole thing in some. And a lot of these tracks are they sound like casual productions, and the productions are immaculate. If you listen to it, like you hear certain things that happen in and out that, like, if you listen close, but like I could see a casual listener missing a lot of what's going on here. Especially after her, what was this this one project she had before this was what was that joint? It was I mentioned earlier, it's freaking solar power. Solar power left a lot to be desired. She had, I mean, I I clicked on it because I mean I loved her since Pure Heroine, but like I saw wait, what's this? What's happening? Right? She comes out with melodrama, which is a very like introspective. It's very it's gut-wrenching. It's hard to listen to, but like you have to listen to it. It's that good and it's that important. And then solar power you see the album cover is like what I mean, she's always been kind of like sexually free in the way her expression shows, at least in her videos, but like that one was a little, it was raunchy. It's raunchy. I'm just saying it's raunchy. Another track that I definitely love that folks I think you guys should check out is David. This is the quintessential closer of an album. This is how you do it. I love me couple elements I love an album. You're gonna win me over. One, no longer than 15 tracks. Don't give me no more than 15 tracks. I need your shit focused. And in those 15 tracks, I'll give you two interludes. Make it make sense though. I'll give you one, but I can stretch it to two if you make it make sense, right? So I'll do that. The other thing is um stay on brand. Stay on brand. I can understand an evolution. Evolution has to happen. Stay on brand. That's going to give me automatic, like you said. There's some stuff that, like, because Andre 3K came out with something completely different with that Flute album, and I actually liked the Flute album, and I reviewed it, and I like that Flute album. So that's a little bit off, but like you could kind of see the evolution when you listen to songs like Hey Ya or freaking Love Below, right? You're like, oh, I could see how an artist like that can get there. You know what I mean? After some time off. Um, so I can appreciate all that. Also, give me some bangers. Just just give me some bangers. Give me something that will stick, that'll hook. I will forgive a lot of these other aspects that like just turn me off to even checking out the album. And so for this joint, one of the things that they did that I love an opening track. I mentioned Lizzo before. That debut album, Lizzo, that opening track was like, yo, I'm setting the stage. And that opening track was like dope and it got me through the entire album. The album was great too, but like the opening track really set the stage. A closing track is another one of these things that's just like, you give me a good closing track that wraps all this up. That lets me know that uh, matter of fact, the Clips album did so. I'm gonna keep referencing this Clips album because they just did so well. They're gonna win album of the year. They should win album of the year, not just rap album of the year. Really, with the Clips joint. but they set the album off with this passionate, sorrow-filled tribute to their parents who have died. Malice does a tribute to his dad. Push does a verse on their mom and the last conversations he had and interactions he had with his mom. So for this project to open up with Hammer, um, pretty much saying like every, if every problem to a hammer, every problem is a nail. And then the project takes you through that growth of a hammer, realizing, wait a minute, I can do more, or a tool, I would say. I don't know, hammer. Well, I mean, hammer, can the hammer do more than I've used the hammer as a lever before. I've used it to remove nails, so that's a lever. Um, I've used it to weigh something down before. There's it. You know what? I'm not gonna try to do this real time and think of all the things that I could turn the hammer into. But her point is that to a hammer, every problem is a nail. And the evolution that she has gone through, and the evolution as you listen to the project from top to bottom, you can see all the different scenarios of somebody examining themselves and be like, I'm more than just a hammer. I have all kinds of tools at my disposal that I can tackle this problem of life. Life TM is a whole problem. And um, Hammer talks about that. To the end of this project, we end up with David. And this is the quintessential, like I said, closer for an album. Um, I will admit, left frustrated. I was left frustrated with this joint a little bit, uh, because the beat never drops. The beat never freaking drops. It's like it's supposed to be. It feels like it's supposed to be a freaking. It feels like it's supposed to be an EDM or house, a bass kind of project, and like it builds and it builds and it builds. And how long is this joint? How long is this track? 3 minutes and 25 seconds. We have a track here that's 4 minutes. You have another 3:29. So it's one of the longer tracks, 3:25, the three or fourth longest track on the project. And so it builds. And if you like house, if you like bass, like you or EDM, you're waiting for that beat to drop. Like it builds, it builds, then like it drop, and the beat never drops. It just never drops. Like I need them. Oh man, I need a deluxe version. I'm gonna look out for this thing in the next few months because they need to drop the beat on that joint, and it's a gorgeous song. It's a fantastic song, David, for what it is, but it's edging. It's edging. This is if edging was a song, it would be this track right here. Ooh, how does these lyrics go? Why do we run to the ones we do? I don't belong to anyone. I made you God because it was all that I knew how to do, but I don't belong to anyone. Am I ever gonna love again? Am I ever gonna love again? Am I ever gonna love again? She sort of like begs it for the rest of the project. Am I ever gonna love again? Am I ever gonna love again? It's just building and building and building. And then you would think that the beat is gonna drop, and then it just never does. Um, but my favorite track, even as much as I love David, it left me wanting a little bit. So I just go back to Current Affairs. Current Affairs is it's gotta be the yeah, yeah, Current Affairs is the best track on this project. I think top to bottom, lyrically, I think production wise, I think performance, all alone in my room, watching the tape of their honeymoon on the boat. It was pure and true. The film came out. Hope that we can ignore. Voices we hear through the open door. Would you dive to the ocean floor just to take my pearl? Wait a minute. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did she just say that you're watching the tape of their honeymoon? You're watching the tape of their honeymoon. And the song is called Current Affairs. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And this is from the perspective of the person that is, you're on the outside, ma. You ain't even in that relationship. And she is going through it. And she is going through it. It's like the side piece is going through it on this one. And she is putting it on wax. Because my bed is on fire. Mama, I'm so scared. Were you ever like this? Once you went out on the edge. And then she gets nasty because the stuff that he does, she says, he spit in my mouth like he's saying a prayer. Like, that's pretty intimate. To that point, like, I'm doing whatever for this dude on some like 50 Shades of Grey type stuff. But now I'm crying on the phone, swearing nothing's wrong, blaming on current affairs. But now I'm high enough to know, yeah, I think he's gone, blaming on current affairs. You know what this really reminded me of? It's crazy that this joint is hitting my algorithm where I can lock into this album and listen to it for these so when did this thing drop? This thing dropped the 27th. Okay, so this thing just dropped. Yeah. So I've listened to this project a lot in the how long has it been a couple of days now? That Coldplay meme has been going around. What that is this tech CEO from what these food was? This was Nautilus or space some what are these foods called? Astronomer. Yep, astronomer. This was the yeah, this was the tech CEO. This was astronomer. Oh my goodness, bro. This dude was so Coldplay had a concert. They're performing and they got this like jumbotron camera thing that is going throughout the audience and like featuring different people that are hugged up and stuff. Like it's a lovey-dovey kind of situation. And they go to one couple, they're doing their thing. They're like, oh, that's cute. They go to another couple, oh, that's cute. Then there was this one couple that they went to up in the suites. Turns out this dude, Andy Byron, who is the CEO for this company Astronomer, this dude got caught in this intimate moment with Kristen K-Bot. She is the HR director for the same company, for Astronomer. And so Chris Martin is on the mic like they finally realize that they're on the screen like, oh shit. And so this dude like ducks down and mommy is like, oh no, what nope, nope, I don't want to be on camera. But like Chris Martin is like, look at these guys. They're either really shy or I'm just spitballing.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Spitballing. This dude is spitballing here, or they're having an affair. And now this Lorde song is current affairs, right? And I'm like, come on. If having an affair could like ever have been more obvious, like Yatu was the poster child for the joint. Turns out both of these niggas was married. She's married, he's married. They out here just at this corporate. I don't know. I think one of the other women that was pictured in this thing, she might have worked for the company also. Oh my goodness. It's a mess. It's a freaking mess. And the company, he had to resign. I don't know if she ended up resigning. They both should resign, really having this
This is
relationship
culturally
because like
inappropriate. This is
you're the
culturally
CEO. She's a
inappropriate.
subordinate. Um, but also like when you're HR, if anybody has a complaint about anybody in the company, even if they have a complaint about CEO, they go to you. I have a complaint about CEO, and maybe you bring it up to the board, or you know what I mean, or maybe you bring it up to them directly. But like, can nobody trust you, man? You fucking this dude, bro. You hugged up. They looked like they was in love. They looked like they was in love. I mean, they were hugged up. It wasn't no casual like, yo, this is my side piece. I'm out here. Maybe you do like the shoulder lean kind of hug kind of situation, something like that. But man, they were like prom picture style. Right? They were prom picture style before the camera got to them. And the camera got to them. And it took them a second. It took them a quick second to realize, oh shit, my life is imploding before my very eyes. Bruh, cheating out loud. Both of y'all out loud. So that's what that was. And Lord is channeling this sort of thing, talking about all alone in my room watching the tape of their honeymoon on a boat. It was pure and true. Then the film came out, Hope that we can ignore, voices we hear through the open door. Would you dive into the ocean just to take my pearl? Like risking it all. These fools is risking it all just cause somebody's sticking with they dick. Just cause somebody's sticking with their pussy. Just like, uh, the whole company like had to fire you because like the well, he resigned. But like you're bringing shame onto the company. Like we're trying to make bread here. This is late stage capitalism. We got a revenue, profits, my guy. And you provide like all kinds of like services with AI, that is prominent, that's becoming prominent in like the next wave of thing. Like you're already a billionaire. Think about where this company is going. These individuals that work for this company, and you just, I'm sorry, don't, it ain't a good look. You, my G, gotta go. So that's amazing that this happened to come out at the same time. Lord has been challenging fiercely the this same algorithm that has us all in that fucking treadmill. And this project may not be for everybody, but it's more closely aligned to her. Bro, we outsiders. We outsiders. When you think of a track like Royals, we ain't Royals. Like I don't, I've never seen a diamond. Um, what did you say? I've never seen a diamond in real life or in the flesh. I never seen a diamond in the flesh in real life, like a big diamond or something like that. And it's, I think it is the probably her most important project since maybe melodrama. I mean, there's only been one in between that, but like I would say since Pure Heroine, where she is more to like, how am I feeling in the moment, and how can I put this on wax? It's not an easy listen. This album is not. There's a lot of like growth that's happening, like that's raw, that's emotional, that is strange. But if you are into the artistry, while she does provide um some safe port. You know, you think you're a ship at sea, and there's, you know, oh, I need to rest a bit. I need to unload some product, or and I need to just kind of stretch my legs, get a, you know, touch grass into real life, back down to earth. This project resonates with all of that. it's a bold step forward in her evolution. And what you will benefit from most is if you listen multiple times. A casual listen is fine, but you're gonna have to lock in. You're gonna have to lock in and give it some repeated plays. This project, I'm already gonna tell you, it's not gonna top the charts, but it's her most important project. And if you enjoy the music making process and you really lock in on this project, you will notice those nuggets. And those nuggets are for you.